What's up, guys? It's Brian from Hasher Hub. It's about 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, January 27th, 2018. And we're coming to you with another trading video on Ethereum. But first, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Upvote, resteam, all greatly appreciated. Especially if you guys are on Steemit or DTube. Definitely the upvote and resteam is for you guys. And if you're on YouTube, subscribing and the notification bell is greatly appreciated. So let's get right into it now. Ethereum. We haven't made a video on Ethereum for some time for no good reason. I love Ethereum. Yes, believe it or not, on a fundamental basis, I've been following Ethereum for quite some time. I've been buying it for quite some time. Big buyer into what they're doing and how they're going about it. And I also mine Ethereum. I build GPU rigs. So for quite some time, I've been doing this now. I guess a few years. So yeah. Yeah, I know Ethereum inside and out. So let's get into it. And I know this looks like a mess, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time. But we have made Ethereum videos prior, and we had this ABC correction. And after the correction, I then go kind of like line crazy. I just start drawing lines all over the place. Why? Because you need to try to discern the direction or the pattern as quickly as possible. And the only way to do that is just start drawing lines. And if you think you just eyeball it, you're fooling yourself. So I'm going to try to start dissecting all of this wasp nest of support and resistance lines. And maybe it makes sense if we kind of zoom out here for a second. I've been zooming out a lot these days. I love it because it just gives me a great idea of what's going on. I've been doing this with a lot of coins. And this is kind of like almost like a searchlight. I'm sure there's a technical term for it. But I think of it like as a spotlight or a searchlight, like a night in the dark type of thing. I imagine myself out in the water on a boat in the fog, and I have a very a 10,000 candle watt, or something like that, spotlight, like searching around. It's a similar situation here as well. Markets cannot sustain parabolic which basically exponential moves up. They can sustain linear moves up, obviously with corrections. And so it's one of the reasons why I like to do this. I like to do it from a base, from where the market has had a base before we had a large run up. I mean, this may not look like a large run up right here, but I mean, we're talking about this is going from about 315 and change to about 475. So yeah, I mean, it's a big run up. I think it peaked up about 515. So yeah, this was a big run up here. So I draw this across, and then I look, well, wow, how frothy did the market actually get at the top right here? How much money, how much volume was coming to the market that was just whipping this market into a frenzy? It was getting frothy. And so what happens is that all this frothiness, usually when the market swings to the other side like a pendulum, think of a pendulum if you ever played an instrument before, like a metronome, it swings from one side to the other. Same thing with the market. You want to see kind of that same frothiness coming to the downside. I don't see as much of it. I don't mind it because of the fact that, it shows me that the coin is rather bullish. There's still a lot of buyers behind it, even through this craziness. What would have told me that this market would have been super, frothy, and that it would have gone ahead and sold off drastically is if we went ahead and we hit this purple line or even crossed below it. And we didn't do that. Okay? We kind of went ahead and we ended right here, at the top right here, which makes sense for like a, resistance line. I have this purple resistance horizontal line drawn right here. That's kind of just the tops of this right here. But this is pretty much the minimum, not the minimum, well, coming from the top, it's the minimum before you kind of get into this band of resistance, you know, where you hit this here as well. So kind of have this resistance zone. So let's zoom in a little bit more. Excuse me. And what do we see? We see kind of this wick down, and then we have this, obviously, this sell-off, and I draw a line right here. We have this bottom here, we have the bottom here, and I draw a line right here. The market comes down, and let me zoom in and make things a little bit easier for everybody to see. The market comes down, it comes back up again. You draw a line, okay? You draw, you know, a line right through here. Okay, the market comes down, it goes back up. You draw another line, right? You keep drawing lines every single time there's kind of like a peak going on. Same thing with the trough, with the bottom. You know, it comes down, it turns around, you draw a line from the bottom to the other bottom, and you see what's going on from here. So there's a few things going on. We have like a bearish flag between here and here. That's what's going on right here. We have the market kind of trying to break through this purple line. This purple line is drawn back from here. I don't know that this is going to be a top. Could be a top. Looks like a top, possibly. Or the market could run up to here, to the top of this channel right here, and then come back down again. We also have a line, this orange line, that comes here. Now, any line that's drawn from here and only one other point is kind of temporary, because we don't know this as being any type of top, any local type of top. We don't know that yet. So we'll know in a few hours, go to sleep, wake up, go in a few hours, you'll kind of know, is this a top or is it not a top? More times than not, you give it a good 8 hours and you'll know. So what are other type of lines? We have this line here. Okay, goes from this top here, goes here and here. So what is going to go ahead and push this around? Well, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the big behemoth. We know this, right? So let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin real quick. So Bitcoin's been doing a lot of work, particularly on these levels right here. If this doesn't make any sense to you, or even a small amount of sense to you, look at I would say at least the past 3 Bitcoin videos. It's been doing a lot of work right here, and these candles have been trying to push through these resistance levels. Now, some people, I've been getting some flack for when some people are saying, well, no, the market can only exhibit one pattern at the same time. To which I say, I'm sorry, you're looking at it a little too simple-minded. You could see here the candle hit this line, and then this candle hit the blue line, and then it hit this one. It literally turned right on these lines. I mean, it's great market action. So interesting to see what's going to happen here, but let's go back to our topic of our conversation right here, Ethereum. So Ethereum is hitting, well, I mean, they're temporary lines, right? They're temporary lines. The only line that's not necessarily a temporary line that it could hit soon, or is this purple line right here. So what could possibly happen? Well, in my estimation, we're really not bullish right now on Ethereum, even though I love Ethereum a lot. We're not bullish on it. I'm really not. I'm trying not to be. This is a way too short of a correction to happen. Way too short. And actually, if this were to move up to try to make new highs, I actually would be upset. I would not be happy at all. So what I really want to see happen is this thing to try to come back down again and try to retest some of these lows here. Or maybe at least try to get to this purple line. Okay, or for it to kind of get to this yellow diagonal line and kind of put some enforcement on this line right here. And then we know, well, okay, fine. Then we probably have like an A, right? And then there would be like a B, and then we have a C, D, and E. And then we have some sort of pathway forward. Right now, we really don't have much pathway forward. The only thing we really have is, this bottom triangle line right here, and possibly this one right here, wherever it's drawn based on wherever this market actually tops up right here. And then we can then see, well, okay, fine. Then we probably have some sort of a triangle. What I also see is that the volume is coming off pretty drastically. It's coming off from this point here to here. Aha. So maybe this triangle, this purple triangle, is something that's actually in effect. Prior to that, we had a bearish flag. And I'm going to go ahead and delete that just to clean things up. We had a bearish flag. The market kind of pierced up above it, and then it came back down again. It's one of the reasons why I think that this point right here is very significant, because we had a bearish flag, and the market still popped up, and then it came back down again. Excuse me. So there must have been a lot of volume for the market to really pop up out of that bearish flag, and then for it then to turn around again is where the sellers then came in. So I put a lot of credence into that line. Obviously, I've drawn a lot of things on it. So I'm going to actually delete this right here, clean things up. And yeah, this I'm going to leave here. So possibly your market could come up. It could come back down on this purple line. It can pierce through here and then maybe sit on top of this purple line. It can pierce through and try to maybe get to the top of this range right here. All dependent on Bitcoin. But right now, we're really not buyers of Ethereum in the sense that we're looking to take on any new positions. I want to see another turn down. Or if it's not another turn down, I want to start seeing some higher highs and then waiting for a correction and then possibly getting into that correction at that time. Right now, this all looks very three-wave-ish to me. So what that means is basically triangle formation. So in other words, in Elliott wave terms, 3 waves. You have a 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? Most more like it's A, B, C, and then A, B, C, and then A, B, C, on and on and on. So it's really counts of 3. That's how these waves look. So counts of 3 tells me more times than not. I mean, there's a lot of other formations counts of 3, but counts of 3 tells me triangle formation. So we're going to leave it there for right now. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Upvote, resteam. Like I always say, if you guys found this valuable, please go ahead and do that. We're really trying to build out our Steemit and or our DTube pages. Links are down below. Same thing with our Facebook group. Link is down below. Definitely get involved there. Subscribe and the notification on YouTube. Greatly appreciated. And with that, we're going to leave you there. Happy trading and have a great night.